What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying your Saturday evening so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about the BKN Game Recap surrounding the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers Game 1 of their first round series in the NBA playoffs. They let it off in this NBA playoff series, and well, the Nets offense was most of the time very stagnant at different points in this game. They really only got about one or two players that really stepped up offensively and were able to at least create their own shot, or they were able to drive to the basket and at least draw some fouls. But honestly, the Nets defense has been the biggest problem with this entire team so far. The Nets defense gave up 121 points to the Philadelphia 76ers this afternoon, including they shot 21 of 43 from the three-point line. 21 three-pointers were made out of 43, and the only reason why that percentage is even lower than it was overall is because of the fact that they were just chucking up threes at the end, and they weren't able to knock a lot of those threes down. James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tobias Harris, all three of those players combined for about 70 of the 121 points for the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Nets also, one of the biggest problems with this Nets team is they turn the ball over at a ridiculous rate. Way too many turnovers during this basketball game. Dinwiddie had 4. Bridges had 3. Johnson had 2. O'Neal, Harris, and Sharp had 2. Claxton didn't have the offensive impact that we were hoping for. The only players that really shot consistently the entire game were Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. And Johnson, in my opinion, didn't get in too much of a factor in this game. He was not as big of a factor as I was hoping he would be for this Brooklyn Nets team in this game. I thought he could have been a bigger factor overall, and to be honest, he just wasn't. Cam Johnson did not shoot the ball enough in that game overall. In fact, Jacques Vaughn took a press conference or quote afterwards. Obviously, he's not happy about the officiating that happened in the game. Hopefully, they'll be calling traveling and defensive 3 seconds on the big fella next game, so I look forward to that. So obviously, he's saying that Embiid was in the lane a lot more than 3 seconds of these games, which is possible. Bridges actually played pretty well for the most part, I will say that. Mikal Bridges, he shot 12 of 18 from the court. He had 30 points. He did turn over, like I mentioned, 3 times with a block shot, 5 rebounds, and assist. He was 12 of 18, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 34 minutes. Bridges had a typical Mikal Bridges type game. Johnson had 18 points overall, 27 minutes, 7 of 11 from the court, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. He had 2 assists and 4 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, with 2 turnovers and 3 personal fouls in the game. He didn't really start getting going offensively until towards the end of this first half. Dinwiddie was 5 for 12, 1 for 5 from the three-point line, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. He turned it over 4 times. He had 14 points overall, 36 minutes. Claxton, like I mentioned before, 5 points, 10 rebounds he did, 1 assist, 3 block shots, 2 personal fouls. He only was 2 of 4 from the field in 30 minutes overall. And the bench did literally nothing in this game. Seth Curry knocked down a couple of 3-point shots where he went 2 for 3 and he went 4 for 5. Why was he not shooting the ball a little bit more? He went 4 for 5. He hit 80% of his shots, including 66.6% of his 3-point shots, and yet he didn't get the ball enough. Royce O'Neal was 0 for 3 from the three-point line, 2 of 5 from the court. He had 6 assists, though, and 4 points and 3 rebounds. He didn't have the offensive impact we were hoping for. Joe Harris, he knocked down a 3, but he didn't virtually do anything, though he did have some nice defensive plays out there. Day'Ron Sharp had a couple of nice contributions. He had 6 rebounds and 6 points in his 17 minutes overall for the Nets. But this defensive effort today was not good. The defensive effort today for the Brooklyn Nets was not good in the slightest. They were leaving way too many guys wide open, giving second and third opportunities for the Philadelphia 76ers to be able to create their own shot and dish the ball out to their teammates. And at the same time, the offense for the Brooklyn Nets was way too stagnant, way too one-on-one. The team couldn't generate any type of penetration to the basket, and they were too busy at times settling for three-point shots, trying to do ISO basketball, and they weren't trying to draw fouls. And 19 turnovers is unacceptable. You as a road team, you are not winning basketball games if you are going to go into Philadelphia and turn the ball over 19 times. There's a recipe for failure if you turn it over that much. The Nets have got to do better in terms of taking care of the basketball in their second game. 19 turnovers is not going to get the job done. Obviously, as a team, you want to try to go into Game 2 now and see if you can steal one and bring this series back home to Barclays Center 1-1. Embiid, Harris, Maxey, and Harden all got the job done. The Nets were giving up second, third, fourth chance opportunities to the Philadelphia 76ers on offense, and they were not doing the job defensively. They were not doing the job. This team needs to play better in terms of creating their own shot and as well as shooting the ball more consistently. Just a bad job by Brooklyn in that case. This is a tough loss. Discipline with the basketball, shooting way too many threes. They actually didn't even shoot that bad from the court. They shot 56% from the court, 39 of 70. They shot 49% from three-point line. But you're not getting enough contributions offensively from your guys. Dorian Finney-Smith was a ghost in the second half. He played in 18 minutes. I forgot he even played, if he did, in the second half. He had 6 points. And he actually hit both his three-point shots, which is more infuriating because he was actually knocking down his three-point shots and he barely even played in the second half. So Nets need to have a wake-up call going into this next game. They do. You have got to take care of the basketball a hell of a lot better than you did in this game today. Undisciplined at times. You as a basketball team are not winning if you cannot be more disciplined with the basketball in your hands, and you're going to turn the ball over at a rate that you did. You're going to continue to give up second and third chance points. You're going to just try to shoot ISO basketball, and at the same time, you're not going to try and, play better defensive sets. It's a bad loss. This game was close for a lot of this game. For the first half, Nets were trailing by about 8-9 points. Not out of this world. Trailing by 8 at the end of the third quarter, and then the game just got out of hand. Sixers just could not miss from three. They were knocking down three-point shot after three-point shot after three-point shot after three-point shot at a consistent rate. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in game 2 on Monday. Nets are going to try to see if they can split and at least bring this whole series back to Barclays Center in Brooklyn 1-1. But we'll have to wait and find out. It's a tough loss, infuriating loss, but at the same time, you still have 3 other games. You still have more games in this series for the Nets to be able to bounce back. We'll have to wait and see. That's my BKN Game Recap. Nets lose today by the final score of 121-101. Trail in the series is 1-0, and the second game, Game 2, is this Monday night in Philadelphia at Wells Fargo Center, with the Nets seeing if they could try to even up the series 1-1. So hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85. More news, updates, chatter, and game recaps surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video is short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you thought about today's loss by the Brooklyn Nets to the Philadelphia 76ers. And what do you think the Nets need to do going into Game 2 in order to try and see if they can even this series at 1 before we head back to Barclays Center on Thursday? Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Yes, it's going to sting if you're a Nets fan. Sixers fans, congratulations. You got Game 1. Take it easy, and let's go Brooklyn Nets. As always, it's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.